All right, man. So, I know it's been a while, but dude, I have just been working like nonstop. I've been doing a lot of traveling around the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. And, I've been in places like Utah and Idaho and Chico, California, and Mendocino County and Arizona. And it's been tough to say the least. But I'm back today, at least for this video, and I just wanted to talk about the market a little bit. I've been keeping up with my videos and stuff for crypto. I haven't been really focusing on price news because, I'm just waiting for it to pop something crazy. You know what I mean? But if you bought in recently and you bought in higher than where it is now, welcome to crypto. In the short term, things like this happen. Don't panic. If you get your next paycheck in, or if you come into some cash, while the price is down, buy in again. All right, it's called dollar cost averaging. And when you dollar cost average into Bitcoin or cryptos, you actually do the best over the long term, unless you have, a large sum of money and you just buy, at the lowest price that you could buy it at. Look, here's the thing. There is a lot of uncertainty ahead. People are not sure how things are going to be politically, geopolitically, economically, okay? These things are impacting markets around the world, all the markets, okay? The way you want to look at this time period right now is you want to decide, what are you going to do in the face of uncertainty, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how things are going to play out. So how are you going to make the best decision for you and your family going forward? If you're holding a lot of cash, a lot of fiat cash, just remember that inflation, it's just going to continue. Even with rate hikes, there's nothing that they can do to really stop inflation, because they need to prop up the markets to a certain degree, right? Even right now, like we're seeing a dump, but it's not really as bad as it should be, considering that many of the traditional markets are way over leveraged right now, right? And so, just if you're keeping cash, I just want you to really think about in the long term now, in the next year or two, right? When we're talking about geopolitical conditions creating and impacting economic landscapes in countries, especially large countries like the U.S., these are not things that are going to happen this week and kind of blow over next week and be gone next week. It's not going to be like that. We're probably looking at a 2 year to 5 year or more time frame, to where this thing first rolls itself out to play out, and then the market is able to react and price in those new conditions. We also don't really understand, we don't really know the decisions that policymakers are going to make to affect, the economy and, general human behavior going forward, right? So this is what I'm saying, right? Like, we really don't know how, let's say the war in Ukraine is how it's going. We really don't know what's going to happen next, right? Who else is going to jump in, or is there going to be some kind of attack, or we don't know. Like, anything can happen. You know what I mean? What's that going to do to the economy? What's that going to do to, your ability to buy food or whatever, gas? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things start to take in, they come into play. You know what I'm saying? They come into play here. What do? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Rate hikes, what's that going to do for the overall market? Because it's over leveraged. You know what I mean? How are people going to feel about that? And when you follow like a herd mentality, a mob mentality kind of thing, people generally make the wrong decision. And a lot of people in times of uncertainty, they hold on to cash. And I think it's the only reason why they hold on to cash is because in case they need to go somewhere or do something, they have the cash on hand to be able to do that. You know what I mean? They're not relying on a system like the banking system or a credit system, in order to purchase their things. Look, now that Bitcoin exists, or Ethereum, or whatever other coin you like, now that it exists, you don't need to have cash. You just need to have an internet connection. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to have cash in order to do what you need to do. You can have an internet connection, and you can be in a currency that's more volatile, but usually to the upside in the long term, right? But is also decentralized and disconnected and out of the control of the traditional banking system. And it's hard money. It's, a finite amount. It's, permissionless, borderless. It's, this I can just go on, right? It's the most secure database that's ever existed, right? And these are the kinds of decisions you need to weigh out. These are the kind of things you need to think about going forward. It's not just how do I increase my wealth. Like right now, the first thing you want to think about is, okay, what can I do to preserve it, right? And then you start to think about, okay, what can I do to grow it, to increase my wealth right now? Because, if you have cash that's just sitting around in a bank, listen, man, what if one day, and look, man, we're dealing in uncertain times here. This is not like normal times, all right? This is not like normal times. Let's just say the bank that you're in, right, that your stuff is sitting in, let's just say they decide that, we're closing up shop. I know it sounds crazy to believe, but it wouldn't be the first time it happened, you know what I'm saying? But they say, hey, we're closing up shop and we're filing for bankruptcy, and, talk to the FDIC if you guys want to get your money back. Huh? Man, that's the whole reason why the FDIC exists. But what if the FDIC says, yeah, we'll give you your money back, but it's going to take 3 years, and only up to $100,000 per account that you have, because, if you have more than $100,000 in there, tough cookies. We're not going to give you what you lost. We're just going to give you enough that we feel is enough. And $100,000 today is going to be very different from $100,000 in 3 years from now. You know what I'm saying? But can that happen? Yes, that can happen. You know what I mean? And so these are the things you have to weigh out. Like, stop thinking that you can rely on the things that are attached to the ship that's sinking. Stop thinking that, bro. Stop thinking that. You may not be able to. And then what do? And this is just money I'm talking about. What about food? What about water? What about medical supplies? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, are you dependent on being able to go to the store? Are you? Maybe you are. You know what I mean? Will you be able to do that? What if there's some kind of attack on America, like 9/11, right? And, martial law is declared and you can't go nowhere. Do you have what you need at home? You know what I'm saying? Do you have what you need at your crib? Are you going to be all right? Like, I'm just talking money, right? But there's other things where, money becomes less relevant, at least for a short period of time, and at least in the localized area where you're at, to where you're going to have to figure out a way. You know what I mean? And it just be like that. It just is what it is at that point. So, it's my 2 cents. As far as the markets go, we are in limbo right now. I think there is a strong support at 40,000. Who knows if it's going to stay there? I don't know, but I think it will. I think it will hold pretty much. Maybe we dip down a little bit more. One thing to keep in mind is that people much richer than you and I'm assuming anyway, they are in heavy accumulation mode. They're just picking up coin and picking up coin and picking up coin. Some of these altcoin projects like Terra buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And they created an altcoin. They created their own coin, and they're buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So if they're accumulating, you know, it's not like they're selling their Bitcoin for cash. You feel me? They're not around here buying all the real estate in America, you know what I mean? Which they could. They have billions of dollars they could be doing. Not buying all the real estate, but I'm saying buying, pouring their cash reserves into real estate. They could do that. They're not. They're buying Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin, all right, look, there was a tweet today from a guy, and he said, "Hey, I'm doing a presentation for 60 plus people in personal finance and family offices, which is like the most money in America. That's like, these are people who have old money, lots of it, right?" He said, "I'm doing a presentation that I want to figure out a way to express to them the difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, right? Because you have Bitcoin, which is called Bitcoin, and then you have altcoins, which is any coin that's not Bitcoin, all right? And literally, there's 15,000 altcoins. There's only one Bitcoin. There's only one real one anyway. And I said, Bitcoin is, I did what I said I would do for the last 12 years. That's what the system has done. That's what that blockchain has done. And altcoins are, I swear to God, I'm going to do something eventually. This is the key difference here. Altcoins have promises that they need to keep. Altcoins have promises that they need to keep. Okay? And they could do it or they could not do it. The benefit is you can buy an altcoin cheap, and when they do what they said they were going to do, the price takes off. Take it from me, all right? But with Bitcoin, you're buying something that has done what it said it would do for the last 12 years. This is a big difference. And that's why these very rich people, very rich funds, buy Bitcoin. There's certainty in Bitcoin. They know how much is out there. They know what it can do, when it can do it. They know, the infrastructure that undergirds your ability to transact. Permissionless, decentralized, censorship resistant, borderless, all that, okay? And instant compared to our current banking system. That's what they're buying. Certainty. You know what I mean? And, there's economic uncertainty right now, and they're buying certainty. So, yeah, it's my 2 cents. Take it or let it alone. Look, if you have any questions, any considerations. I was going to finish that with, so they're buying that, and so there's going to be less available as days go on. You probably want to get some for you too. You know what I mean? Don't be the person that buys Bitcoin at 100,000 or 150,000 or 200,000. But if you didn't buy at 40K, where it's at today, then buy at 100,000. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be the person that buys at 500,000. And if you didn't buy at 100,000, because you missed that boat, buy it at 500,000 because you don't want to be the one that buys it at $1 million. And this is the game that Bitcoin is. This is like game theory for Bitcoin. There's a saying in crypto where it says everybody deserves the price they bought in at. You know what I mean? Everybody deserves the price they bought in at. And it's true, man. If you just didn't see it. Look, I could have bought Bitcoin at a few dollars, like $4 or $5. I didn't. I passed on it. I was disrespectful to it. I didn't take the time to understand it. I could have bought CryptoPunks at $500. I literally said, had $500 there. I had more than $500 there. I could have bought a few CryptoPunks. You know what I mean? And each one today would be worth like 500 grand. I didn't do it because I said, what's this pixelated little stupid stuff? Like, why am I spending $500 on that? $500 can get me. That's what my thinking was. You know what I mean? And so you deserve the price you buy at. All right? So yeah, man, this is the third time I'm saying goodbye. Love you. Be safe. Peace.